Okay. All right, folks, we're going to try things a little different. I zoomed in a little bit, squished it to try to get some of these ads out of here. But this is Marty's Daily Sudoku, and we have a very hard puzzle, as you can see there today. Very hard. All right. So now we're going to look here on this puzzle here and see what we can do. Okay, you know that I do like to look down these alleys, these little cool little rows. Sometimes they create little channels for us. So that is something I'm always kind of keeping an eye out for. So like for instance, see these pair of fives covers the left and the right, and then we have a 5 that comes across the top. So the only place for a 5 is right there. Now we got this cool little lane here. So we've got a 1, a 7, and an 8. So we already have a 1 and an 8, but the 7 comes right through the bottom. This 7 comes up through the center. So one of these two have to be our 7. Alright, I gotta shift the map up just a hair so we can see that top 7. There we go. Alright. So we've got this lane here. We've got a 1, 8, and a 2 comes right down here. So we have a 2 and we have an 8. But this 1 comes down and then this one comes across. Cool, and then this one comes down. So we only have one spot left for the 1. Alright, now these pairs of 1s go to the left. So we have to have a 1 here somewhere. Okay. We do have a 2 and a 3 here that cut right through this lane. We already have a 2, but we don't have a 3 yet. So this 3 comes through. So 3 has to be top or bottom. Boop, 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 boop. Let's see what else we have. Okay, cool. So this 7 stops the 7 from going here. This 7 says you can't have a 7 here. So we create what I call is a ghost row that tells me this can no longer be a 7. Doesn't matter which one of these is a 7, cannot have another 7 left in this row. So if we take this 7 out, only one spot left for the 7 in this cube. Goes right there. Okay, alrighty. So what else do we have? Okay, alright. Have a pair of 8s here that crisscross in the center cube. This 8 goes down the right. This 8 comes up the left. Only leaves one spot for the 8. That was nice of it. Alright, okay. Alright, so what else do we have? Alright, I haven't really gotten into the pairs just yet. I mean, we're kind of looking around a little bit, just kind of letting my eyeballs wander. So I see a pair of 9s that go across the top and then through the middle. So there's only one spot left for the 9. Alright, we have a 3 that comes up this right alley. Again, I love these alleys. Keep an eye on those alleys. So now I've got 2 numbers left. 1, 2, 3. We need a 4, 5, and a 6. A 4 and a 6. I'm going to look horizontally to see if I have any help, which I do not. So I'll just jot those guys in there for just a moment. Alright, got a little sketch there on my ankle. Okay, alright, so let's see what we have now. We've got 3 spaces here across the top. We know that we need a 4 and a 6. What's the other number we're missing? Looks like a 3. Is that right? A 3 across the top. So this could be a 3, a 4, or a 6. This could be a 3, 4, or 6. But I do know one of these two has to be a 3. I don't want to mark the 4 and the 6 just yet. So looking vertically here, I see that I've just got a couple spots that are missing. So I want to look at that here real quick. So I've got a 1. Now I need a 2. Okay, well the 2 cannot be here. And the 2 cannot be here. So there's only one spot for that 2 to be left. Alright, now I need a 3. Now the 3 cannot go here, but it could go here or here, which you already have that marked. Okay. Now look at that. That's going to be that 4 and 6. That 4 and 6 is going to be our our linchpin there. And when it starts to fall on the dominoes, it'll just let go. Okay, so that's what we're missing vertically is a 4 and a 6. So we're going to leave that for just a moment, and we'll come back to it. Okay. Are there any other numbers that are just jumping out at us? Okay, let's do a little bit more looking for pairs. I'm going to go back to the top 3 since we've already got some of those numbers in there. We've got our 9s. Okay, we've got our 8s. We've got our 7s. Okay, we've got one of our 6s. Okay, this one comes up the left side. So there's only 2 spots left here. And then is there any help over here in the left cube? I do not see any. All right, 5s go across the top, 5s go across the middle. So 5 has to be one of these two on the bottom. I don't see any help vertically just yet. Okay, 4s. You know what? I don't see any 4s on the map. So that's one reason why they're a little bit difficult to find. I don't see any. Okay, now 3s. Now we have a 3 that comes across, and I do have a 3 down here. So in this left cube, those are the only 2 spots for 3s. Now in the center cube, I still got 3 spots I could do. I'm going to leave that alone for now. And then we've got our 2s, and then we've got our 1s. Okay, so here's our 1s, and they come across top and bottom. So now, folks, this 1 and 7 is what I like to call double locked. They can't be anything else, doesn't matter what you do. Because of the 1 and 7 here on the top and the 1 on the 7 on the bottom, the only way to get this puzzle to work is for 1 and 7 to be here. Now the cool thing about locked cells is it tells us what the last ones are. We know we're still missing a 4 and a 6, and even though there is no other way to eliminate a 4 or 6 here, because those cells are locked, 4 and 6 can't go there. Isn't that awesome? Locked cells, they are very important. Now what that tells me is that the only cell that's left is the other one of this one. Has to be a 4 or a 6, and look at this, we have a helpful 6. So makes this one our 4, makes this one our 6, and now dominoes down and drops that 4 there. So now we have a pair of 4s that we didn't have before. That's going to give us our 4 in this third area here. All right. Okay, and then does that 6 help us at all here? Goes through the middle. Of course, these are already double locked with 1s and 7s. And I don't have anything vertically to help just yet. So let's move on down to these 3 cubes here in the middle. We just solved a ton. So let's just kind of look at this here real quick. We're looking for some pairs. We've got a pair of 6s here across the top and the bottom. So this third cube gets it right here in the middle. We've got a pair of 2s that go to the right across the top and across the middle, and then I have a 2 down the left side. So I'm going to have a 2 here, and I'm looking down here at this third one because it has that same pattern and the 2, so the 2 goes here. I'm just trying to look at those patterns about the same time, and it helps me to see my numbers a little clearer. Okay. Oh, now because we put this 4 up here, these 2 now have to be our 4, and see this 4 comes down here. I know I'm kind of jumping a little bit vertically, but we were missing those 4s and we didn't get any 4s in, so I wanted to kind of get those before I forgot too far. Okay, do we have any other pairs? Let's see here. I have a pair of 9s down the left and the center, so our 9 has to be above or below here. We have a pair of 5s left and right, and then a 5 across the bottom. So our 5 has to be one of these guys. We have a 1 in the left, a 1 down the right, 1 across the top. So we have to have a 1 here. I think that I'm just looking in these 3 cubes. I know there's a couple other pairs, like these 3s can go down. So our 3 has to be down here. These pairs of 6s can go down, and we can get those in there. Let's see, is there any other pair settings here? We've got a 1, a 2, we've got our 3, we've got our 4. All right, now our 5 can still be 3 spots. 6, 7, 8, and then looks like 9 can be everywhere. I don't have a whole lot of help with that. Okay, let's look at this left cube. We've only got 2 numbers here. Is there any other way we can get some more numbers? We've got a 9 right and left, so it could be anywhere in the middle. Okay, we do have an 8 down the middle and an 8 through the center, so I still have 3 spots for my 8. 7s, 7 and a 7. I still got 3 spots for my 7. 7. Oh, I only have 2 over here for my 7s, though. 7 across the bottom, 7 down the center, so a 7 and a 7. We've got our 6 marked. We've got our 5. No help on the 4. 3 and 3 still leaves me 4 spots. 2, and then 1, and a bunch of junk. And a bunch of junk. All right, folks, let's move on down to these bottom 3 cubes. And let's see if we can get some more numbers here to help us out. Okay, so we already have our 1s identified here. We've got a 2, and a 2 identified. All right, we've got our 3 that comes across. So we've got 3 here, and then I don't like to do this, but we're getting kind of to the point where I need to make sure I have good marks or I'm going to get myself tangled up here. Okay, now 4, we know it's got to be up or down here, but can be anywhere and anywhere. 5s are all marked. 5s, 5s, 5s. All right, 6s have to be down here. Do I have any help with the 6s here? I do not. What about over here to the left? I do not. Okay, 7s. Okay, cool. So this 7 comes across, and this 7 comes down. Ooh. All right, I thought these were double locked, but this is where those pencil marks are very, very important. This can still be a 3. So even though there's only 2 numbers here yet, I still haven't fully marked it out. So got to be careful not to assume these double locks. If it can go somewhere else, it's not double locked. You have to make sure that they are locked and they can't be anywhere else. Okay, all right, enough said there. Let's look at my 8s. So I do have an 8 that comes across the middle. 8 and 8, and then 8 comes through the middle here. Cool, and then 8 comes down the center. All right, sweet. So we have a ghost stroke being created right now. So see this 8 that comes across and this 8 that comes down. So 8 has to be in the top. That tells me 8 cannot be in the top over here because that would break the possibility over here. So only 1 spot left for my 8. Now that helps us in this cube because we have an 8 now in the left, 8 down the center, and 8 through the middle. Only 1 spot left for my 8 there. Now these 2 8s come across the top, across the middle, down the center. So my 8 has to be here or here. So that, and see how that lines up with these 2 8s? That is good. Okay. All right, so now back down here, we need a 9. 9 comes across the middle, 9 comes across the top, 9 comes down the center. Only spot that a 9 will fit is right there. All right, so we are throwing some good numbers in. Now we need to look at these here because we put some numbers in. All right, now this 7 does come up through the center. This 7 comes across the bottom. So I only have 2 spots for 7 now, so I can write that down. Okay, we got 2 numbers missing right here, and look at that, our 4 and our 6. Who would have guessed? So this one can be a 4 or a 6. This one can be a 4 or a 6. Okay, all right, okay. All right, now I don't have the rest of this marked out, so I have to be careful. I have to be careful not to assume these aren't double locked. We've got our 1, 2, 3, 4 can go, and I'm going to have to start marking these. I'm going to have to start marking these. 5. Okay, we need a 6. Now 6 can go everywhere. 7, 8, 9. This bottom cube is fully marked out. Okay, that's important, or I'm going to get myself tangled up. Because I've been doing a lot of holes, I'm going to need to fill these up here. 1, 2. All right, I have a 3 across down here. And that's all I have at the moment. So 3, 3, 3. Okay, now I know my 4 has to be above or below. We've got my 5. All right, now 6 can be everywhere. Now this is, so I've got a 6 that goes here. Now can I have a 6 here? Yes. Can I have a 6 here? Yes. Yes. See? That's why it's not double locked. So if I didn't mark that, I would have caught myself in a trap. All right, I've got my 7 marked, got my 8 marked, got my 9 marked. So this cube is fully marked out. So I've got to be careful with my pencil marks here. So I got my 1, got my 2, got my 3. Okay, now where can my 4s go? Now I do have a 4 down the right, but a 4 can go here. Okay, can a 4 go here? Yes, yes, yes. See that? Okay, I've got my 5. I've got my 6s marked. All right, now do I have my 7s marked? Okay, so this 7 comes down the center. So my 7s can make a mess all over here. Got my 8s marked, because I can't have an 8 across the center or the bottom. Okay, and then I got my 9. So these bottom 3 cubes are fully marked out. All right, so that is important. Okay, so now let's come up here. We're just going to work our way back up and see, now that they're fully marked, if I see a number like it'll show me that they're locked. So that's kind of the neat ploy of what we're looking for at the moment. We're looking for another lock. Okay, so I've got one of these two is my 1, one of these two is my 2, 3. Now where can 4 go? Now 4 comes down the right side, so I can have a 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Way too many choices for that 4. Okay, my 5 has to go here. Got a 6. Okay, now I've got my 7s marked. All right, and then I've got my 8s marked, and then I've got my 9s marked. So this cube is fully marked out. So now let me look at that. Like, so see, here's a 7 and a 9, here's a 7 and an 8. So we can see about those if they are locked. Okay. 2, 7, 8, 9. All right. Very good, very good. All right, just kind of looking, making sure nothing just hops out at me. All right, so let's move over here. We've got a 1, we've got our 2, we've got our 3, we've got our 4. All right, now where can a 5 go? 5 can go everywhere but down here. So 5, 5, 5. Okay, we've got our 6, 7, 8. All right, and then the 9 comes up the right side. So the 9 goes here or here. Okay, I'm surprised I didn't have that 9 before. I must have overlooked that earlier, or maybe we just got this 9 recently. Okay, so that cube is fully marked out. Let me see if anything jumps out. Not just yet. Okay, this cube here is going to be a mess. So the 1 comes across the top. So 1 can go everywhere. Okay, 2. All right, now I have a 3 that comes across the middle. So we've got 3, 3, 3, 3. All right, now over here, I don't think I have any help whatsoever on the 4. Oh, so this is going to get ugly. All right, we've got our 5. Okay, we've got our 6. And then we've got 7 and 6. We got our 7. We've got our 8. All right, we do have a 9 left and right, so the 9 has to be just down the middle. Do I have any ghost rows that can help with the 9? I do not just yet. Okay, so now that cube is fully marked out. So now we just have the top ones. Here's our 1, here's our 2, here's our 3. Just double checking, making sure our numbers are looking good. Here's our 4. Is there anything else that can help us with that 3? Not Not yet. Not yet. Okay, there's our 4. There's our 5. Okay. All right, now I have a 6 that comes through the bottom. All right, so I already have a 3 and a 6 up here. So that makes sense that those two would be a 3 and a 6. But I also have one of these two could be a 6. All right, and then our 7s are locked. There's our 8. There's our 9. So now that cube is fully marked out. Okay, so this is what I was looking for. So you see how this is a 4 and a 6 and this is a 4 and a 6? Those are locked cells. Now these locked cells are a little different than these ones because these two are in the same cube, the 1 and the 7. But these 4 and 6s, you can still have a locked cell in rows and in columns. So for instance, in this column, you cannot have another 4 and 6 when there's only two possibilities in two cells. If this is a 4, this is a 6. If this is a 6, this is a 4. Either way, 4s and 6 are all gone. So look at this cell. I can no longer have a 4 and a 6 in here, and that actually pairs up with this 1 and 7 very nicely. See that? That's how it's supposed to work. Now, I got to look at my pencil marks here because these two cells were the only ones where a 6 could have gone. That's why I don't like having so many pencil marks, because I couldn't see that unless I was really paying attention. See these two 6s? It goes across the top and the bottom. So one of these two were a 6. Well, now this can't be a 4 or a 6. That makes this one a 6. So you've got to be careful and understand your pencil marks, or you can trip yourself up, or you can just miss it. I've done that quite a few times. So now that this is a 6, it'll start to dominoes a little bit. So that makes this one our 3. That makes this one our 6. Now, if that's a 6, look down here. See, it's just going to kind of float around the board and make us go all over the place. All right, so I'm gonna do a little bit of cleanup here. Now that this one is our 3, I'm gonna clean up this 3. You see how those two are 4 and 6s? Okay, so this can't be a 6 anymore. Just cleaning them up a little bit. We only have two numbers missing. I know we got to come back down here and get this one, but we're missing a 3 and a 5. So I'm just gonna jot those in there so we don't forget that later. So now that this is a 6, we cannot have a 6 here or a 6 here. So this just leaves us as a 4. Now if that's our 4, that makes that one a 3. Okay, now we're just going to slow down just a moment here, and we're just going to go around the board. So this 4 makes this one a 6. All right, so now let me clean up my 6s. That can't be a 6. Okay, now that we have our 3 here, I'm going to get rid of my 3s here. This is why I really don't like having that much pencil marks, because then you have a lot to erase and a lot to clean up. But if you do, just pay close attention to what you're doing. So don't get yourself tripped up on yourself. Okay, now that we've got a 3 here, one of these two was a 3, because you see we've got a 3 down and a 3 down. So this is where you've got to be really careful not to get yourself lost. So I could have just erased this 3 and all these numbers sitting here, but there's a 3 hiding right there. That's the only place a 3 will fit. So anytime I erase it, I always double check to see where those pairs are at. Okay, all right, okay. So now we have, what do we have here? Okay, we've got that 3, 4, 8, very good. Double checking, making sure I'm not missing anything here real quick, which we've done quite a bit. I probably am missing something. So like for instance, there's only 3 numbers missing here. All right, yeah, see this 3 that comes down? Okay, this can't be a 3 and this can't be a 3 anymore. All right, and then 1, 4, 6, and 9. That's okay. See, I've got a 6 right here. I didn't update this 6. There we go. Now we've got a 1 and a 4 here, and a 9 and a 1 and a 4, and a 4 and a 9. Okay. All right, that's good. Okay, so now I'm just keeping, I got to go back through this and make sure that my numbers are right. Here's my locked pairs for the 1 and the 7. My 4 and 6 are locked. My 3 and my 5 are locked. That is good. Okay. All right, 1 and 7, 4 and 6. So we're just letting these. Now, with hards and very hards, it comes down to what I call a rectangle puzzle that gets me tripped up. Right now, we're still cleaning up numbers, but we'll get to the point where there's just 2 like this in every single one, and there's one number that will dominoes everything that's left. See the 6 and 7? So there'll be a dominoes that will just fall them all out. But anywhere where there's not just 2 numbers, there's still something I haven't found that should clean that up for me and get right to the end for me to find that hard puzzle. So let's take a look, and I'm just kind of keeping an eye out. So we have a 6 and a 7 that are ghost rows. So we have a 3, we have our 4, and we have our 5. Okay, we have our 3, our 5, and our 9. Ghost rows, ghost rows. Okay, 3s. Okay, 6 and 4. 4s are just, yeah, 4s are the ones that are going to be a little tricky because they're everywhere. Let's see, what did we do over here on this right side? It's like a magic trick. Look over here. No, look over here. No, look over here. I see one number. Oh, I lost the other one. Where did my number go? I don't know. I don't know where it went. Okay. All right. So let's see what else we have. Okay, sometimes I just got to go back through and just start double checking my numbers. Okay, so I'm gonna look at my ones, left and right, left and left. Okay, ones. Then I'm looking for my twos. My twos are over here. My twos, 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 twos. Okay, my threes, threes. Threes. Okay, my fours. Okay, I got a pair of fours here. Got a pair of fours here, some fours here. Okay, fours here. Okay, not seeing it just yet. We'll just keep on looking. See what we can find here. Fives. We've got 5 here. We've got 5s here. 3 and 5. We've got a 5s here. 5, 5. Okay. 6s. Got split over here, split down here. Lined up over here. Okay, and then all those 6s are there. Okay, 7s. Alright, 7s are here, lined up there. Okay, we have 7s. We have a 7 up there. Joop. Got a 7 left and right. 7s left and right. Okay. 8s. Where are my 8s? Okay, 8s. Right there, there. Left and right. Left and right. All right where they're supposed to be. Okay, let's look for our 9s. 9s are top and bottom. Ah, okay, so in hards and very hard puzzles, there's something called, I call it a crisscross. I've watched other advanced players play and they call it an X-wing. And what that means is if you're in one cube and you see any number. So we're looking at 9. So see I have a 9 in the top and a 9 in the bottom. Very similar to the locking. See I have a 9 in the top and the bottom. Over here I only have a 9 in the top and the bottom. It's hard to see because of all the pencil marks. But in this right cube I cannot have a 9 here and I cannot have a 9 here. So it's top and bottom. And over here in this cube it's top and bottom. Now just like the double locks, if I have a 9 in the top row, that means over here it's going to be in the bottom row. Now if it's in the bottom row here, it's going to be in the top row. That's what it means by an X-wing or crisscross. So what that tells us is in the third cube, I cannot have a 9 in the top row or the bottom row because those are the locations of the X-wing. The other way to look at this too is I can't have a 9 in either one of these cells because of these two. I cannot have a 9 here because of this one, and I cannot have a 9 because of this one. So in the center row, you'll see even with my pencil marks, this is the only place that a 9 will actually fit. But that X-wing helps you to see it without having to put all the pencil marks in, and helps you to not have to do what I just did. So let me clean up my 9. So now you'll see 3s and 5s, and this 3 and 5, and that is clean right there. That got rid of that extra little number there for us. Okay, so that is good. Let's see what we have. So see this 3 and 4 and 5, and this 4 and 5 and 3 and 5. There's like that rectangle strategy that I'm trying to find. There's a like a break where it won't work. So like, okay, like right here. I got it. I got it. No, I don't got it. See, I was thinking if one of these two is a 4, then this can't be a 3 or a 5, but it'll be the opposite of whatever. So if this is a 4, this will be a 5, that'll be a 3. If this is a 4, that'll be a 3, that'll be a 5. So, see, there's that, my brain can't get to it. So there's a spot where I actually have to go to paper and I have to guess one. And then I try to find what breaks the puzzle, and then I try to understand it. Because I'm still learning on these more advanced puzzles. And I wish that I could see that solution. Stare it down. And that's how you do it. It's practice, right? You practice and you play until you see it. Where are you? Do you guys see it? Am I just missing it? Is it that? Is it really obvious? You guys having any better luck? All right, I know how we doing on our time? Ooh, 34. I try not to go over 30 minutes, but I think I set to spend a couple minutes setting it up, so I don't think we're actually at 34. Let's see. What else can I do? Anywhere where there's more than two numbers, I know there should be a simpler way to clean those up. Just like we did with this 4 and 6 and 1 and 7. There should be a way to clean that up. See if there's a double lock in the cell, that would be great. If there's a double lock in a row or a column, that would be great. So if this was a 7, that would make this an 8 and a 2, right? If this was a 7, 8 and a 2. That would make this a 9. Now if this is a 9, this would be a 2 or an 8, and then our 7 would be down here, depending on whatever the 2 and the 8 would be. I'm stretching. I'm just kind of walking it out, seeing if I can find that ornery number, 4 or a 5. So if this is a 4, see all those 4s drop out, then this would be a 7 and an 8 and a 4, 2, 7, 8, 9, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3. See, that's all it takes. It's all it takes is one little number to drop out. But there's a pattern in there that it normally makes it impossible to pick a number. So like if this was a 7, then this would be an 8, then this would be a 4, then that would be a 6. Okay, so see how that works? If this was a 6, that would be a 4. These two would be 7 and 8s, so that would be a 2 and a 4. That would be a 4, and that would be a 1. So that would work. See, there's a little catch somewhere. 4s and 6s, 3s and 5s. 4s, bottoms, middles. These ones should be the tops. 4s should not be down in the bottom. But what am I missing here? I think I'm missing another one of these like 9s here, where it's just something vertically or horizontally in a row or a column where it can only be one number, and I'm just missing it. 3 and 5, 3, 5, 3, 4. That one matches. Those match. 2 and a 4, 2 and a 4. 2 has to be over here. 2 has to be over here. 9s, 9s. Oh, come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Come on, Mr. Brain. Let's sort this out. We're so close. Don't give up yet. Okay. So I like to see if there's like a spot with two numbers that would be eliminated if we picked either one, because that helps to do. Okay, one of these two is a 9. Does that help us out? And see, and that's what I'll do. I'll grab like a little pencil. You know, if something looks a little off. Like, okay, so you see one of these two is a 9, right? And one of these two is a 9. So that's my little rectangle test. So what I'll do is like I'll take this one and I'll just make that a 9, right? All right, so if the top middle is a 9, right? And then I just play it out how it happens. If that's a 9, okay, so that makes this one a 7. Now, if that one's a 7, that makes that one an 8. Let's see if that's a 7. That also makes that a 2. That makes that a 4. That makes that one a 7. That makes that one a 4. That makes that one an 8. 2 and an 8. That makes that one a 9. Okay, so if that's a 4, if that's a 4, okay, that one becomes a 5. That one becomes a 3. That one becomes a 4. That one becomes a 5. And all I'm looking for is one of the possibilities to break. And that tells me that that number can't be that. But so far, that is working okay. And so I don't like to go too far. I like to stop and then like back it up and like change a number, right? Because I'm not looking to solve it. I really want my brain to figure out the pattern of how to fix it. Okay. All right. So what I just did with this being a 9, I broke it. And I'll show you how I did it here. So if this is a 9, this is a 4. All right. Now if this is a 9, this is a 7, and this is a 9. Okay, now if this is a 7, this is a 2. See this rectangle right here? Boom, 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 boom. That right there, I don't know how to find it, but that is, right there is the perfect fix. If this is a 9, that makes this a 4. You with me so far? If this is a 9, this is a 7, and my 9 is one of these two, so this becomes a 9. So if this is a 7, this becomes a 2, because that's all it can be. Now if this is a 2, what does that make this one? A 4. So this cannot be a 4, when this one's a 4, it breaks the puzzle. That is my rectangle right there of it's, and that's normally how I get stumped. Right here at the very end of the game, there's this rectangle, and that's the only way that I have found it to present itself. So right now I know that if I put this as a 9, it will make this a 4 and this a 4, and it will break the puzzle. So the only way to solve it then is this cannot be a 9, so it has to be a 4. So now we just let the dominoes trickle. We've got a 1 and a 4, so this one becomes our 9. Okay, you guys ready to chase the rabbit? Here we go. It's just going to fall to pieces now. So this 9, one of these two is a 9, so this one becomes our 9. All right, so now we have a 4 here. So these two cannot be 4. Cleaning up my pencil marks. Okay, this 4 here makes this one a 5. This 5 makes this one a 3. This 3 is going to go 2 different ways, but let's just follow it this way first. Becomes a 7. This 7 makes this one a 1. This 1 makes this a 7. This 7 makes this one a 1. This 1 makes this one a 3. And you're going to notice we're just going to keep following on the domino path here. It's just going to fall right to pieces. 4, 5. That's a 4. There's our 8. All right. Now if that one's an 8, and that, so we have an 8 and a 9. So that's a 2. I could take time and delete more and clean it up, but I'm trying to keep it nice, and we're just going to end up moving them anyways. So we've got a 7 down here, so this is the only spot left for a 7. So horizontally, this is the only spot. We've got a 1 and a 5, so that makes this one our 4. We've got a 4 and a 2, so that makes this one our 1. This 2 makes this one a 7. And look at that. That 7 makes this one an 8. All right, so our 2 and our 4 don't break anything just yet. Now this 7 makes this one a 6, makes this one a 7. Okay, we have a 1 and a 6 right here, so the only one left is a 4, which makes this one our 6. This 4 comes back down here and makes this one our 2. And we already have a 7 and an 8, so there goes our 4. We have a 3 and a 5 here, so we're going to flop them. There's our 5, there's our 3. And of course, here's our 4 and our 6 we just put in, so we have to flop them right here. Okay, so there you are, folks. We hit all the highlights. We've got double locks, we've got ghost rows, ghost columns, we've got the X-wing or the crisscross pattern, and then that last little rectangle puzzle. I'd like to say I'm getting better at catching that, but I still have to use paper to get my brain to go that deep. There's like 2 steps, 3 steps. It's always one more step than my brain can handle on its own. But there you go, folks. There's a very hard puzzle. As always, I recommend pausing it at the beginning, print you off a couple copies, play along with. And as always, great to have any comments, suggestions, or challenges. So thank you for watching, folks, and we will catch you all next time.